Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I got it. Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I'm joined by our special guest, Jean Wright. Now, today, Jean and I are going to be talking about turning salesy into a positive affirmation, how to sell with confidence. Because sales is a gift. And in today's episode, we're going to show you how to sell with joy. If you get a ton of value in this episode, I would love to invite you to subscribe because it costs nothing to subscribe. Now, Jean is a seasoned sales professional with a 4-decade-plus sales career spanning many industries. As a president of a women's business organization, she noticed members were lacking sales confidence. Jean decided to address it with her debut book, Selling Your Confidence, forging a successful sales career from mint cookies to martinis. From her early days as a Girl Scout selling cookies to her adult sales career, Jean's story is packed with valuable insights and helpful tips about presenting your unique package and feeling more confident along the way. Jean is now a sales confidence builder on a mission to empower women's groups and solopreneurs alike, showing them how to tap into their unique strengths and become more confident in their sales abilities. Jean, I'm really excited to have you on the show. This is absolutely going to be a fabulous conversation. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks so much, Lynn, and I'm really excited to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we've gone into a bunch of your backstory, but I'd really love to hear a little bit more about the pivot that you took from, your corporate sales career into doing what you do now of really being that sales confidence coach.
Well, Lynn, I was selling because I enjoyed sales. I kind of fell into selling with various jobs I had. I didn't know that you could be a sales professional whenever I was in college or whenever I was first deciding what I wanted to do as a career. And who knew that it all started when I started selling the Girl Scout cookies, that I had this ambition to be in sales, but didn't actually take it to the next level until I started getting out into the job world. So I was very successful in the various positions I held with different companies. I enjoyed the challenge of reaching the next level and moving on to another job position that would uh, really test my talents and bring in the business that my employer was looking for. So I thought everyone felt good about selling. I thought it was kind of second nature to be able to sell until I started talking to women who felt that it was difficult for them. And what is it that's causing them to feel this way? And don't we all like to tell our friends how much we enjoy using products and really be excited and passionate about types of things that we like and that we want them to have? So I started thinking more about it, and what did this all mean to me, that I could provide something more to others who were feeling stuck, especially entrepreneurial women who have nobody else to turn to and they're on their own. So when I decided to write my book, Selling Your Confidence, the mint cookie part is about the Girl Scouts, and then the martini part is like all those challenges and career goals and things that you meet, and having that celebratory cocktail at the end. So I think women would appreciate that kind of story. And let me see how I can encourage them to be more successful in their viewpoint about themselves, about the word sales, and about how it can benefit them, because frankly, a lot of employers are looking for women to sell because of our innate talents. And so let's look at that in our inner confidence and bring that out and show the world how we can be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Sales is an amazing career. Um, like you, I've shared that. And I love sales. So, but for many, salesy can feel like a bad word. And certainly I would perceive it to be such in our profession.
Mm-hmm.
How do you turn it into a positive? Or with regard, not salesy, but sales, into a positive affirmation instead?
So, unfortunately, in our culture, we have created an image of who a salesperson is. And it's usually male, and it's usually someone who has manipulated our feelings so that we would do something that we're not feeling sure about and handing over our money, or we're we're being told that this is what we need and we're not really sold on it. We feel uneasy about that decision. We don't think it's the right thing, but someone's convincing us to do it and manipulating us. So culturally, we have been attuned to that image of the salesperson not really having our best interests at heart. And that's unfortunate. And that's where people feel like I have to be that person to be in sales. And I don't like that word sales. And salesy is not the kind of thing I want to do or be perceived as. And let's just look at that word that we're using. Did you know salesy isn't even a word in the dictionary? It's a term that we've come to associate with people who have that type of characteristic of manipulating and aggressiveness and how, being that person that's going to force us to do something we don't want to do. So what I'm trying to understand is that word has come up so many times since I wrote my book. I felt like this is an issue that we need to address. And this is a negative part of salesmanship role that we try to use to our advantage, like you and I, and be successful. I actually re-edited my book and put a salesy section in at the end so we can talk about this more because it is something that comes up quite a bit. So I've decided my mission is to change that negative connotation of salesy into a positive affirmation. And let's look at it this way: selling authentically, like everyone sees you. Salesy can work for you if you look at it as a positive affirmation of your authentic self. So I use that word now as an acronym to describe how authenticity and being you can come across more positively in your selling situation. Um, why not? Right?
Absolutely. I'd never really thought about really flipping the script, right? And changing that perception, sort of like how bad is good, or,
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So I
So,
think we have to look at ourselves more internally as to what we're putting out there, what part of ourselves we can contribute to that sales situation.
right. Absolutely. And so when you're working with people and you're really helping them, it's obviously a lot of mindset work of twisting and not or reframing their mindset, so that they're not looking at sales from the negative, but looking at it from the positive. Because, I mean, I truly believe that sales is this incredible pathway to career success, to life success. Because if you don't ask, you don't get. And you've got to ask for what you want. Sales is so many great leadership skills you learn in sales. So I'm really curious about the process that you have to really move people from that negative,
Right.
so that they can really embrace the beauty of sales, which is where you get to help and serve others.
Correct. And the first thing I ask someone that has this feeling of being stuck with how they want to be perceived is, okay, I want you to write down all those things that turn you off about a salesperson. I want you to tell yourself, do I have any of those attributes? And most likely you are going to say no. So right then and there, I'm going to tell you, you aren't going to be salesy because you're not even aggressive. You're not manipulative. You're not those types of characteristics. So you'll find that out. Now I want you to write down all the things you look for in someone when you are in a selling situation. Well, on the other side of the table, when you're walking into a store, when you are, sitting on the other side of a desk when someone is selling you an insurance policy, whatever it is in your daily life, what is it about that person that's coming across to you that you feel comfortable with, that you feel is someone you're going to trust, that you feel that they're being kind to you and honest with you? And I think when you start thinking about all the things that help you say yes to someone else, those are going to be the types of characteristics you're going to model in yourself when you're in that situation, when the tables are turned and you're talking to them instead of them selling to you. So think about what characteristics those people are displaying that you actually have yourself. And I think we all feel that we can be trustworthy and honest and want to help people, and we want to solve problems, and we want to build a relationship with them. And that's all part of how good salespeople work with someone that they want to help and develop this relationship with, to have a further, get them what they need, get that other person what they need. And it's not going to be on the first meeting, most likely. You're going to have to take a little time with them to really get to know them and understand what they want. Listening is so important. So if we listen more and talk less about ourselves and know what it is they need, you are helping that person get what it is you have to offer them. So I'm passionate about my products and services. I want you to have them, but let's make sure it's a good fit. Let's make sure it's something we both need, and that in the end, they're going to really want to work with you. It's no matter really what it is that you're selling in the end, because it's you they want to work with. And they're going to feel like I'm doing the right thing because I trust you now and I feel good about my plan to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a few things that you said there that are really important for everyone to lean into. And the first one is that sales don't happen the first time you meet someone. That's sure if you walk into an Apple store with an intention to buy an iPhone, yeah, but in reality, when you're in sales, you are building rapport and you are building the relationship brick by brick. And so statistically, research shows that less than 10% of sales occur at the first meeting. It's just
Right.
not common. People need to think about it. They need to sort of digest the information. They may need to talk to somebody else. They may need more to know more. So it's part of the journey, that sales experience that you're delivering to someone and creating that delightful journey. And
Exactly.
I really look at it as, just to your point, you're wearing a detective hat. Not only is your product or service going to fit what they want, need, or lack, and why it matters to them so they can achieve what, it's also, are they a good fit for you? It's a
Right.
two-way street, it's a win-win. So, I think this brings back that, from your perspective, for many out there, why is being positive in their sales career such a challenge?
Because of the baggage from their other experiences. I really believe that they keep thinking about sales. The first thing someone will say to me is, I'm not good at selling. Oh, wait a minute. Let's not even talk about that word. I'm not good. You're not good at convincing or helping or persuading people to understand what it is you have to offer. So, I mean, there's just that we have to overcome this feeling that whatever I have isn't worth what you are going to give me. Maybe as women, we're not taught that way, growing up, that don't ask people for money. Don't, it's, you're not really good enough to say that you're the expert about that. No, don't you really think that you're not quite, there's just so many things that we have baggage wise in our minds that we have to overcome. And we all have that bit of confidence. We wouldn't walk out the door in the morning if we didn't have confidence to get in the car and go and do whatever we have to do and face whatever it is that we have to do. We have to have a certain amount of confidence to get started for our day. We have it. It's just a matter of applying it to all those situations that we're in our job, with our family life, all those personal decisions that we make that we use confidence for. When you're when you're putting yourself out there and asking somebody for something, it's hard. It can be hard. But knowing that it's going to be the right thing for them and that it's going to benefit both of us in the end, and I'm going to help you see that it's going to be a good decision. So does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it does. And so, I mean, that sort of pivots us back to, what holds people back, and maybe specifically women, from pursuing a sales careers, or even if they are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, what holds them back from sales conversations. Oh, did I lose you?
Yes. Yes. Now
Oh
we're
my
back.
goodness, I'm wondering, but
Now we're
Jean
not back.
I'm not sure if she's hearing me. And so my question was about what listeners should do next. Um, and let's see if she kicks back in.
Okay, I think we've reconnected. There was a little glitch. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. I'll let my team member know. That's why I actually don't do these live.
I
So,
understand. Yeah, this is what can happen.
did you get my question?
I did not.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just sort of scoosh ahead here. So I'm going to make a note. It was at 16. Okay. Um, so Jean, this is really intriguing because this is something that holds so many people back, especially women, from either entering sales careers or when they're a solo entrepreneur, of really entering into sales conversations. So I want you to go a little bit deeper on how you help women on this path, or individuals, men or women, to really bridge that gap from staying away from sales to embracing sales.
Okay, so I think I think what, like I said, the perception of selling has got to change. Okay, number one, and we've got to understand that it's a daily thing. We're selling all the time. We have to embrace the idea that we could be really good at this because women in general are empathetic and they want to help people. And let's take advantage of those natural traits that we have. A lot of times people, like in general today, are starting their own businesses on their own and they feel like they need to pull in all these different attributes to be successful because they also have to sell. So, learning how to do the sales process is important. And I think anybody that wants to sell as part of their business should take a basic sales course, because you need to understand everything about prospecting and networking and presenting a presentation and closing and how to follow up and how to do the things that are important to creating great customer service and that sort of thing. But digging deep and understanding that you are the expert at what you do, because you wouldn't be selling something if you didn't feel passionate about what you have. So, number one, take that passion of what you have and know that you know more about that thing than anybody else. Even though you think you're not the expert, you really pretty much are the expert at what you do. So, making sure that you understand your products, your services, and that you know it can help people and that you are the expert. And then that comes across as a more positive attribute when you're talking about your products and services, that you feel confident that you are passing along everything that you know and your knowledge and your research and your all those things that you bring to the process. And then whenever you're talking to the people, you want to make sure that you are following those steps to make sure they don't have any more questions, that they are interested in the reasons that you're bringing that out, that you can help them whenever they aren't ready to make a decision. The main thing is you don't want them to feel uncomfortable on the other side of you thinking, okay, here it comes. They're going to ask for the the clothes. They're going to ask me to buy it, and I don't really feel good about this. And you don't want to come across as that person that is typical scary salesperson. So as much as you can feel comfortable with yourself, knowing that what you have to offer is beneficial. I mean, this is just digging deep. It's interesting when I speak to women and I coach them. Like I said, they're bringing lots of baggage in with how they were either taught or brought up, or have been in a situation with someone who has been overpowering and forcing them to go out and sell without training. So I think it's a very individualized situation depending on where you're coming from into the sales arena. You know what I'm saying? And then when women have the ability to have their own business, they're so excited about it, and they want to just everybody's their client. Oh, everybody should use this. And it's really not true. There are only certain people that are your ideal client. They're really going to benefit, and then you want to take the time to spend time with those people and not be feeling like you're going in 10 million directions because everybody needs to have it, but when in fact you need to focus on who your client is and who you want to help and whose problem you want to solve and why your product is so fantastic and it's going to change their lives, and all the features that are really going to be important to provide the benefits that they're looking for. So, it's like there's a lot to it, but you kind of start with where are we? Where's our mindset? And if you're not willing to be open to thinking about why you feel this way, then we can't really dig into all those reasons why you're being held back to be successful. So we just kind of start from what's your mindset? What's your experience? What are you bringing into the sales role that you have? And then let's talk about how you're presenting and how you feel about yourself in front of people. Some people just don't feel good about how they present themselves, or they haven't been told how how professional they should look. So people take them seriously. Like, I want somebody to represent the type of product. I'm probably not going to invest my money with someone who's wearing, clothes that may not be the professional look that maybe the banker that I'm used to seeing is. I'm going to trust them with my money. There might be something like that they're doing that's holding people back from accepting them as the professional person in their field. So there's like so many aspects to how you feel about yourself, how you look, how you present your product, how passionate you are, how informed you are. And then it should all just flow so that by the time you get to the point where you've built your relationship, you've gone through the sales process, they're feeling better about working with you. And all you've done is shown your authentic self, because we've done some work about what you're bringing to the party here. What it is that has been working on you with the sales concept and how you're approaching it. Because I do feel bad for people who say, I can't sell, or I don't like that word. And honestly, we just need to work on that and see why you feel that way, and then how we can make you feel better about it, because you can be successful if you just have the right mindset.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So, Jean, what should listeners do next about making positive affirmations for their sales?
Well, I think what they need to understand and do is just identify their positive traits and what they want to see in themselves, um, improve their listening skills, be ready to empathize with people about what they need, and be sincere and show interest in how you want to work with them. And not only when the sale is done, but after the sale, and continuing to provide that excellent customer service. Because don't we want people to recommend us to someone else? Don't we want them to say, you need to work with her because I love working with her too? And it just makes everyone happy, and it helps you to be more successful and gain more clients. and know that she's the one that is the expert, and I trust her. So it's just using those introspective skills to make sure you're coming across the way that you feel is reflective of you and not someone else you're trying to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Jean, is there anything else you wish that I had asked you today?
I think that having someone like you speak with me who understands sales has been very helpful in our conversation because I think we're kindred spirits in that area. And I'm thankful. I appreciate your questions about how we can do this for ourselves and help each other. And I think we as women need to be supportive of each other. And so I thank you for that. Um, no, I think I've covered what I wanted to bring out in my discussion. So I appreciate your interest and having me on here today.
Well, Jean, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing about turning Salesy into a positive affirmation, how to sell with confidence. I would love to have you share with our listeners how they can find out more about you.
I could be. You can reach me on LinkedIn, and I can also be found on my website, Jean. Well, actually, my email, Jean at sellingyourconfidence.com, and that's my website, sellingyourconfidence.com.
All right. That's fabulous.
Yeah,
And
they
I,
can actually have a sign up for a little chat with me, just a complimentary chat to see where you're feeling stuck. And then I also have some little worksheet for a free coaching moment.
all right. Fabulous. So all of Jean's links are down below. So she's one click away for you. And Jean, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to all of our listeners who tuned in. This has been a very informative discussion. Sales is the lifeblood of every business. So this has been really wonderful. Jean, thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.